Good day, everyone. I am Beverlyn Nakunlakiday, and this is my report. The title of my report is ICT in various content areas. ICT literacy basically involves using digital technology, communication tools and access, manage, integrate, evaluate, and create information in order to function and knowledge society. Let's proceed. 21st century literacy skills. The term 21st century skills is generally used to refer to certain core competences such as collaboration, digital literacy, critical thinking, and problem solving that advocates believe schools need to teach to help students thrive in today's world. Learning skills, also known as the 4Cs of 21st century learning, and these include critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and creativity. Digital literacy skills. Digital literacy are the individual's capabilities to be able to effectively and responsibly function and perform in digital society. The term digital literacy was coined by Paul Glester in 1997, and it came from the discussion of the concepts on visual literacy with images and nonverbal symbols trying to capture the knowledge, and B. Technological literacy requiring one to be able to use technology in addressing end needs, and for letter C, computer literacy, which in the 1980s started to become a household item manipulated to achieve one's target. And letter D, information literacy, which refers to the finding, evaluating, using, and sharing of information. So, digital literacies are media literacy, information literacy, ICT literacy, communication and collaboration, identity management, learning skills, and digital scholarship. Media literacy is one's ability to critically read information or content and utilize multimedia and creatively producing communication. So, the media literacy has the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, and create media in a variety of forms. So, some examples of media literacy include, but are not limited to, television, video games, photograph, and audio messages. So, information literacy. It is locating information from the web and interpreting which evaluating its validity and order that it can be shared. So, it is the ability to find, evaluate, organize, use, and communicate information in its various formats. So, for example, planning, searching for information, search in the web. Okay, so let's proceed. ICT literacy is knowing how to select and use digital devices, applications, or services to accomplish tasks requiring the use of the internet. So, ICT stands for Information, Communication, and Technology, right? So, the ICT literate individual can access, manage, integrate, evaluate, create communication. So, example, special keyboards, software to magnify a computer screen or audibly read the text in a computer screen, text telephones, TVs to help people who are deaf communicate using that telephone. Okay, so communication and collaboration. I one's capabilities in being able to participate in the digital networks in the teaching and learning context. So, communication and collaboration skills. How can you deliver and receive verbal and written information with your colleagues effectively? Example, working on tasks and projects. So, identity management is being able to understand how to ensure safety and security in managing online identity and foster a positive. So, when a user enters his login credentials, his identity would be checked against a database to verify if the entered credentials match the one stored in the database. Okay? So, learning skills are ways of knowing how to study and learn in a technology-enriched environment. This is knowing how to utilize technology in addressing the need to learn effectively. So, some examples in learning skills are time management, reading effectively, seeking relevant information, problem solving, decision making, and many others. So let's proceed to digital scholarship. It is being able to link and participate in professional and research practice. Okay, so one important component of digital literacy is having in-depth understanding of concepts and essential core skills. These core skills are known as the C's of the 21st century. So, on a recent day passed by, I was reminded that even though I live in the world of instructional design every day, how difficult the concept can be to explain to someone who doesn't. And here's the breakdown of common processes and principles. So, instructional design models. What is instructional design? So, there are a number of definitions for instructional design with slight variations between them, but the description boils down to something like this. So, here it is. Instructional design, the process by which instruction is improved through the analysis of learning needs and systematic development of learning experiences. Instructional designers often use technology and multimedia as tools to enhance instruction. So, according to this definition, instructional designers have two primary functions. First is to analyze learning needs, and second is to systematically develop improved learning experiences. So, to systematically develop improved learning experiences, it is a significant help to apply a process or model that can be followed and counted on to produce a robust solution. And there have been a number of instructional design models and processes defined through the years, but only a few have been widely accepted and implemented by most instructional design practitioners. And below are 4 instructional design models that I have used myself and that I see cited consistently among my peers. Okay, so the ADDIE model, instructional design models, ADDIE processes. So, ADDIE stands for Analyze, Design, Develop, Implement, and Evaluate. So, this equates to a 5-phase process for developing instructional materials. So, first is Analyze. So, Analyze is the instructional designer clarifies the problem to be addressed with an instructional intervention, defines the training need, and conduct an extensive audience analysis to determine the instructional environment, pre-existing knowledge, skills and abilities, opportunities, and constraints. So, the second is the design. So, D stands for design. Okay. So, the instructional designer writes learning objectives and determines the instructional strategies that will be utilized to achieve those objectives. Decisions are made about how the instructional materials will look, feel, operate, and be delivered to the learner. Storyboards or e-learning prototypes are created. And the next is the develop. It is the content is assembled and incorporated into the design to produce the instructional or performance support materials. Deliverable is reviewed for quality and revised. So the next is implement. The finished course or performance support tool is rolled out to the intended audience and its impact is monitored. And for the last of the AD models stance is the instructional designer uses various numbers to determine whether the course or performance support tool in delivering the expected results. So that is AD stands for. Okay. So for now, let's proceed. The Bloom's taxonomy revised in 2001 by Anderson and Krathwohl. So it defines the 6 levels of cognitive learning, starting with the simplest at the bottom and moving up through the levels to the most complex or deepest learning. As an instructional design framework, Bloom's taxonomy ensures that learners push through the lower levels of remembering and understanding new information to being able to apply it, analyze it, evaluate its impact, and ultimately to solve unique problems by creating solutions that would not have been possible without the new knowledge. So let's proceed to Gagne's 9 events of instruction. So what it is. So instructional design models Gagne 9 events of instruction. So Robert Gagne's 9 events of instruction is based in the behaviorist approach to learning. Gagne identified the mental conditions needed for learning in adults. He then created his 9 events of instruction to address the conditions of learning. The 9 events of instructions are: first is gain the student's attention. Emotional buy in the first step is laying the foundation for learning retention. This can be done by telling a story or asking a thought-provoking questions. So second, inform students of the objectives. Establishes expectation for the course and criteria for measuring success or failure. So third, stimulate recall or prior learning. Leverages existing knowledge as a scaffold to incorporate new knowledge. And fourth, present the content. Use chunking for essay consumption of the content. And fifth, provide learner guidance. Supplement the content with the case studies, activities, discussion questions, and other instructional support materials. And first, for the sixth, elicit performance. Challenge learners' activities that recall, utilize, and evaluate knowledge. And for the seventh, provide feedback. Use immediate feedback to reinforce knowledge, assess performance. This learning knowledge against established criteria. Enhance retention and transfer it to job. Use content retention strategies to appropriate job aids to retain new knowledge. And for the last model is instructional design models, Merrill's First Principles of Instruction. David Merrill's 2002 First Principles of Instruction framework integrates 5 principles of learning. So first is the task-centered principle. So learning starts with a real-world task or problem the learners can relate to. So second is the activation principle. Activating the learner's existing knowledge base helps them connect previous knowledge with the new knowledge. And for the third is the demonstration principle. A course must demonstrate the knowledge in multiple ways, for example, both visually and through storytelling, so that it leverages different regions of the brain and increases knowledge retention. And for the fourth is the application principle. Learners must apply new information on their own and learn from their mistakes. Okay? So for the fifth or the last is the integration principle. Help to integrate the knowledge into the learner's world through discussion, reflection, and or presentation of new knowledge. So, each of the 4 instructional design models outlined above have strengths and weaknesses. So depending on the problem, to be solved by creating a training solution. One of those models may be more appropriate than the others, so instructional designers should be quite familiar with these models and others to design and deliver quality training solutions. So that would be all.